Hey Facebook, it's Tyler again here at Bluehill, and today we're going to do a video on how to make a winter greens container. So to start, you'll need a pot, and you can use any type you want. So I just have one of our nursery pots here, and you want to fill it clear to the top with soil. And then you're going to get your greens, and then any other type of decorations you want to use, like some sticks, ornaments, any other add-ins you want to use. So the first step for this is going to be a base layer. It's going to look kind of like a wreath along the bottom of your container, and for that I like to use firs. So we have Noble, Douglas, and Silver, and I like to use an assortment of that just because you get some different colors and textures to go in there. And all you'll do is take your pruners, take your greens and clip off like that much, so probably like 6 inches or so. And this kind of depends on how big of a pot you have. If it's pretty wide, you can use bigger clippings just to make it go further. But you'll just take them, so you have this, and kind of slide it slantly into the soil, and it's just going to make what looks like a wreath kind of. So hopefully you'll be able to see that here later on in the video. But yeah, I like to use an assortment. Just gives you a variety there, and just kind of stagger them in there. Sometimes people, I think, use pine to do that too. That's fine. Probably like this Princess Pine, it's a little flimsier. That could give you another option for color and texture, but it's up to you and what you want to see. Hopefully you can kind of see how this is going. So it's going to kind of look like a flat wreath in the bottom of your pot. So these greens, we sell them by the pound, or we do have $5 and $8 bags of mixed greens. And those do include some of these cut greens, but they also include some other clippings of different things. So either way, you can still make a nice pot out of either of those options. It just depends on what you want to use. Eventually you should end up with like a flat wreath kind of like this. And then once you get that done, you're going to start in the center of your pot. So if you have some like birch logs, those are really popular, or any other type of sticks, you can use those. I found these sticks at our dump pile here at the store. And so you can either arrange those as like a clump in the center like this, like 3 of them together, just wire them together. Or I kind of like to stagger them out, so like I'll put this tall one in the back, maybe this one up here, and this one on the side, and kind of stagger them in height, and that just gives you some different dimension. And then after that, I like to add some plants for height. I really like to use the shore pine. It's pretty sturdy and stiff, and it has really nice full foliage to it, so you can just either clip them, or if you really want it to take up a lot of room, just use like the whole cutting of it. Just kind of stick it in the middle. I'll probably do that with a few of them. And how much you cut these is really going to depend on the container and where it's going. If you want something that's going to have a lot of height or not much height at all, you can adjust it accordingly to that. So there's your shore pine. I'm kind of stuck here in the middle. And then to create a back layer, I like to go in with some cedar. Just even take whole clippings of that, just start sticking them in the back. And those really will take up a good amount of space and create a good backdrop for you. then as you do these, it's good to kind of like take a step back and just see what spots are a little fuller than the others and what spots are missing something and need a little bit more. And you want to try and make it look fairly even all the way around. And kind of take a little bit of finagling and rearranging before you get something that you're really happy with. So there you can kind of see as our backdrop, it looks fairly full. I might have to go back in here later and get some more clippings to add in, but I'm going to take out of those $5 bags or $8 bags a spruce top. Just kind of clip that off. Tuck that in back somewhere maybe. Like I said, they take some finagling and finesse. Just work with it, see what you like and what you got. So there's that so far. And now I'm going to work for the front area. We're going to try and do a little droopies, some spillers in the front. And for that, you can use some of this Princess Pine that I showed you before, or we have Incense Cedar and Western Cedar, and they have a little more droopiness to them, I guess you could say. The Incense Cedar has this really nice gold color to that, so I like to use that in the front. And you can take off a pretty good sized clipping of that. And you just kind of slide it in there in the front. Kind of play with it, get it to what you want it to do, but you'll want to make that kind of be a good little drooper to cover the front of your pot. Sometimes you can wet down the soil before you start this. That'll help them thicken a little better, make it a little more workable. I didn't do that, but it's fine. And this isn't something you want to do yourself. You can have us do it for you. That's no problem. Bring in your containers or pick one out. Either way, we can make something work. You really want to make these look pretty good and full in the front. It's going to be up a little bit higher or something. You might kind of step back and look and make sure it's covering the front of it enough. They do kind of take a little more time and effort than you think, a little bit more greens than you think, especially if it is a bigger pot, so keep that in mind when you shop for your stuff. Okay, I kind of got the front of that, I think, how I want it for now, so now I'm going to go on the sides with just the Western Cedar, just because they won't be seen as much, so you don't need that foliage or that green color or yellow color quite as much. Just kind of keep sticking them in. you have that done, I kind of got it all the way around here on the edge. Then you can start filling in this center spot. And this is where I like to use the Princess Pine. It's not too tall, but you can make it short enough that it fills in pretty well. So just kind of stick that here in your empty spots like this. Hopefully you can kind of see that okay enough. Just stick that in to kind of add a middle layer in between your tall stuff and your groupies. Okay, so then that just adds a kind of middle layer to this. And if you want to call that done, you can call it done. I'm going to get into our $5 bags or $8 bags. And we have some juniper clippings in there, and I'm just going to snip some of those off and kind of tuck them in the center just to add some little pops of blue. Just get some extra color in there. Okay, so that's a little extra pop of color there in the center. Then we have these dogwood sticks, and I'm just gonna take some clippings off of those, and you can vary those heights, kind of like you did the sticks. Get some tall pieces in here. That's a little pop of color to the back. I like to try and do things in odd numbers. It just makes a little, keeps it a little more from being separated, I guess you could say. Add some more height to the back. Then I'm going to jump out and get some pine cones real quick to set it right there. So there's my dogwoods. You can kind of see them. I'll show you a full view in a minute. And then you can kind of layer your pine cones somewhere in there if you want to use those. And finish adding any other little pop-ins you want to do for some color or some fun. Let's see if I can get this off here. Let's see. So hopefully you can kind of see that, how it looks when it's all done. And then if you want to add a little bit of a bow, go for it. Pop it up front in there. I'll put a better picture of this in the comments in case you can't really see it well. But yeah, so that's how you do a greens container. If you have any questions about it or want us to do one for you, feel free to drop in or give us a call. 785-539-2217. Hopefully this helped.